Good evening and welcome to First Years. I am your host, Refiloe Ndaba, and you're officially tuned into the show that you have been waiting for. The one that is truly made by young people for young people. And as young adults, we go through many first years. First year parenting, first year working or out of school, and we have to have these conversations. So real, authentic, and unfiltered are some of the words to describe the conversations that happen on this show. But of course, I cannot have these alone. So before anything else, let us introduce our guests.
I'm Elle. I'm a fashion designer from Cape Town, South Africa. My year of independence was 2016, and I wish to be on the show to encourage and inspire queer youth and share a story that they can hopefully relate to.
Hello, everybody. I'm Apelele Jack from Durban, South Africa, in KwaZulu-Natal. So my first year of independence was in 2016. I am here today in this show because I believe that representation is very vital as young people in all the conversations that we have. So I'm just literally here to represent so that we grow together.
So I'm sure after seeing that, you're very excited to meet them. So let's not waste any more time. Hi, Al. We are so excited to have you on the show. Are you excited?
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you so much for having
You
me
look
on the
good.
show. Oh, thank you. You
I can see
too.
you took your time.
You
to
look
get
so
ready
elegant.
today.
I'm living for
Thank
this.
you. I try.
You're so beautiful.
And Jack, Mr. Man in Black, how are you?
I'm good. And
Yeah.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so excited, you know. I've been excited about this day, so I can't wait to get into it. And you know, being young people, of course, I think the very first year that we can talk about is the first year of independence. You know, that's when you're off, you're on your own, and but for so many people it can look like so many different things. So what did your guys' first year of independence look like for you, Al?
So, for me, it was very chaotic and it was a learning experience for sure, where I was left to my own devices. I didn't make the right decisions. You know, I didn't do everything I was supposed to be doing, and I think it's okay. I think it's supposed to be all about mistakes. And as you mentioned, you know, you'll have a first year every year. Every year is going to be a new first year. You'll have your first year driving, your first year studying, or maybe your first year sober, or your first year, in a marriage, or there are so many hurdles in front of you. So it's definitely unpredictable, and for me, it was highly unpredictable. But I loved it.
Yeah, and what about you, Jack?
With me, I think it's a two-way thing. That's how I felt in my first year, which I felt like I was doing the right things. Hence, I was saying that we've all made mistakes in our first year. The feeling that I had back then was that I'm doing the right thing. Nobody's gonna tell me I'm young. Don't project your journey towards me. You know, that's how I said, and that's what I said to adults that were before me, saying, "Don't do this, don't." I was like, "No, please don't project. This is
Yeah.
my journey, okay?" So I felt like I was doing the right thing in my first year of independence, and then how it looked like, it's a totally different
Different
story.
thing, yeah.
It was totally, yeah. I messed up in my first year a lot.
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
understand that. Because you know, you feel like, yeah, I got this now. I'm an adult. Like you guys can let go. I can be my own person. But how were those power dynamics? You know, because it's so tough. Like I know for me, I struggle to be an adult while being a child at home. Because I go to uni and it's like feels like I should be doing my own stuff now. Like I should go out the house and no one should question me about it. But like my mom still asks, where you going? What time are you gonna be back? But what were those power dynamics like for you guys? Did they allow you to be adults or did they tighten the reins a bit?
So I can't relate to that experience. My family didn't have a choice. I decided that I was going to be independent and I was going to do my own thing. And I think it comes down to, culture. In my culture, it wouldn't be, parents wouldn't be on your case like all the time. From even before I was independent, I was allowed to go out when I felt like it, and I was allowed to do certain things that other families, children wouldn't be allowed to do those things, or you need approval. I never sought approval from my parents or, adults in my family. And yeah, they kind of let me do my own thing to a fault, maybe sometimes, like I didn't get enough guidance, but I think it was a good learning experience for me. So yeah, that would be my experience.
That's so exciting. You are living my dream. But Jack, what about you?
I relate very much to Elle's perspective and experience and when it comes to parents, because my parents are very young. So in that, they are from a generation where you don't sort of like kind of question things, like you're so strict that you can't now read as an adult, a young adult in their household. So they let me do a lot of stuff that I should have not done. You know, it was not like, do not do this because I am your parent. You know, it was always, do it, come back and tell us that you messed up, and then we are going to try and fix it for you. So it was always like, just do you.
Yeah, no, I get that. My mom is also the same. The rest of my family, no. My family is like very much black, like super, super black. So, but my mom was very lenient, like, oh yeah, no, you can do that. But now I think with the way the world is becoming, she's like also starting to tighten the reins a bit. Because, you know, understandably so, because it's just getting so crazy now. So now it's like, no, but don't go out that late. She won't stop me because she knows that she can't. At the end of the day, I am, you know, an adult. But she does, you know, caution that, hey, are you sure about doing this? But so with the world changing, has that affected you guys at all?
With the world changing, I have a feeling it's changing for the better, at least from my perspective. You know, there's more acceptance in this world, and there's more benevolence to some extent. Like, I know it looks like it's getting more dangerous. I think it's just the media is showing you so much that you see, you know, much more than you would before in the past. I think it's getting easier and easier for me to, you know, live my life the way I want to. So, for me, the world has only progressed. It's only moved forward. But I think maybe that sort of knowing everything that's happening is definitely sometimes it makes it, you know, a bit scary.
No, I totally get that. I totally get that. But yeah, so much conversations, exciting conversations lie ahead. But before we get into all of those, let us take a quick break. But before that, let's unwind and relax with some art. So before we leave, some spoken word by our very special own poet, Nombombia.
Maybe I am different. Maybe I'm not what you expected, but I'm here and I'm here to serve a purpose. I am a box of wonderful experiment, not the science you tried to figure out when they told you to. I am a gift, a very precious one at it, so you need to learn to appreciate me the way I come. I carry and here to serve a different purpose, so don't be scared to let me explore my world. We all know the graveyard is filled with so many unfulfilled purposes and so many dead dreams. So I'm here to paint with my own color. Allow me to be free. Allow me to break the walls and make it into my own pieces. Allow me to recreate my own craft and paint it so all can see and shine. I am different. Allow me to step in my own world. Allow me to create my own freedom, to redefine my purpose so I can be what you need to see. I'm here to unlock so many levels that are very locked. I'm here to redefine the word purpose, so I am here to break boundaries. If you close me up and keep me locked up, I will not be able to leave. I will be suffocated, ready to explode, and maybe I will kill so many that look up to me. So you have lived, you have served, you have been you, you have been the true you, so do not paint me with what I cannot see myself as. I am my own independence. I am my own frame. I am my own I am my own picture. I am my own human. I am here to serve a different victory. But I'm here as a Nombombi.
Welcome back. You are still tuned into First Years, and we have been talking about the first year of independence. And one aspect of your life that definitely changes in this first year of independence is your sexuality. But it's so difficult to understand what this is. So before anything, let's take a look at the first year's vocabulary. So, sexuality, what is that? And sexuality is about your sexual feelings, thoughts, attractions, and behaviors towards other people. And gender is often defined as a social construct of norms, behaviors, and roles that vary between societies and over time. Gender is often categorized as male, female, or non binary. So, after taking a look at these definitions, they are so textbook. But it's important that we break these words down into a way that us and more people can understand. So, I want to start with you. How would you define these, like in simple terms, and just, take away all this weird jargon, but in simple terms, what would you say sexuality is?
I would define sexuality as just simply your attraction to other people in a romantic or sexual way. I think romance and sex are two separate things. They're often aligned, but not for everyone. Some people might be even bi-romantic, so they might be into having romantic relationships with both or like all genders, but they might not be sexually attracted to all genders. So it depends. It really depends on where you find your attraction leaning towards, and it's something that you feel. It's not something that can be really defined. It's something that's very fluid. It can cross many genders. It's very specific to each person. I think there are 7 billion different ways of exploring your sexuality.
I definitely understand that. I felt that in my first year of independence, it changed a lot, and I thought that I knew what I was and who I was, but that changed so much. But Jack, what about you? What's gender to you?
Gender. I know we have a lot of definitions for gender. You just gave us one now. But for me, I think the simplest way to describe and define gender would be your choice on what you want to perform out there in the world. That's literally what gender is to me.
Right, and I get that. And I'm actually grateful for the time that we are growing up in, because so many things are changing, and you can really nowadays be whatever you want and whoever you want. And obviously there has been, pronouns introduced, and people don't have to go based off of what they look like, but now they can express who they feel like. But do you guys ever feel like maybe it's sort of getting out of hand, especially in America, how people are now almost taking any objects and identifying as that objects, like how people are identifying as like couches and cats and dogs? What's your guys' view on that?
So first of all, I really like how gender was just now defined as like a performance, because at the end of the day, it is just an exercise of roles and constructs, and everyone, like across even cisgendered individuals, express their gender in a very unique way. So there's no one way to be any gender. Are we going too far? I don't know. I don't believe that an inanimate object or an animal can be a gender. I think it kind of defeats the purpose of what we're trying to explain. Gender is a feeling, but it's still a human feeling. It's still something that is human. So, I think when people have neo-pronouns, for example, I don't know, rainbow self, or it is their, prerogative. They're allowed to live that life. I don't think enforcing it on people is going to be fruitful whatsoever. I think it's a bit elitist. It demands too much. When it comes to gender-neutral pronouns, like they, them, that is, for me, a very reasonable, request to have gender-neutral pronouns, because they exist in the English language. They have been used for centuries in the English language by English speakers. But yeah, like neo-pronouns and like those sort of alternatives to what we already have can be a bit too... I'm trying to find a word that's not too offensive, but it's too outlandish to really, for you to justify it as a reasonable request. So that would be my vision. But you're allowed to live your life. If people will agree to referring to you with those terms, then that's good. But you can't expect everyone to do that.
No, I completely get that. Jack, what's your opinion?
I would say if we are very honest as a society and as people, we would literally allow people to identify themselves as cups if we are truly believing the thing that gender is fluid, gender can be anything that you want to identify as, we shouldn't once again box people after saying that don't put boxes, we don't label, you can decide to be anything, and then we say if you decide to be something else, we're like, oh no, please. That is just like crazy. I think we should allow people to be who they feel they want to be at that particular time and moment. If it's an object, so what?
I don't believe that many people identify as objects.
I don't know.
It's an example.
I've met an it. I've met an it. I mean,
Okay,
it's so
yes.
difficult to refer to that person because, like, oh, it was here. It's, it's, but yeah. But anyway, you guys can, tell us also what you think. But before we do that, let's just go on a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be wrapping things up and putting some things in the toolkit. So you do not want to miss that. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are still tuned into First Years, and we are still talking about independence. But as fun as it has been having these conversations between the three of us, how can we say that we're representing young people if we don't add young people in the conversation? So us as First Years took to the streets and asked people what it is they wish they knew before entering their first year of independence. And this is what they had to say.
I wish I knew how friendships sometimes in uni don't last.
I wish I knew how to sort of like have good friends, good connections, and also just be mindful of each and everything.
I wish that I knew how to be more money savvy. Yeah.
I wish I knew how expensive Tupperware was.
So yes, it's so nice to see that, young people, we're all the same. Honestly, we all relate on so many things. And sometimes you feel like you're struggling alone, but you're really not. Like when I was hearing those answers, I'm like, same. So what do you guys wish you knew before entering your year of independence?
I wish I knew that it was okay to have the audacity to, sink your teeth into your craft and, do things that are maybe uncomfortable. I wish that, I had more audacity and to wear whatever I wanted to wear, and also, put myself out there. I think we shouldn't shy away from, because we're missing opportunities by just, withdrawing. And also, the people that at that time, you don't, like, I'm not friends with any of the people I was friends with like 5 years ago. And that's also very important to remember, that everything's ephemeral and nothing really lasts. And don't hold on to too many things, because there will, in 5 years' time, like, things will be very, very, very different.
Yeah, no, that's definitely advice that a lot of adults give, that like things will change. Your friends, your body, your job, your interests, it changes.
Everything.
And change is
Everything.
okay. And I think that's one thing we don't really normalize. Change is okay.
Change is essential.
This is the time for change.
Change is essential.
But yeah, Jack, what about you?
I am taking notes, Al, just so you know. But anyway, for me, what I wish I knew before my year of independence was the fact that people don't care. People literally don't care. You can be trending this week, next week it's something else. So just do what you have to do, what you want to do, because people don't care.
Yeah, no, and I struggled with that. Like, the people don't care. I always feel like people care, and people really don't. People do not
They
care.
don't.
But yeah, I think one thing I wish I knew is that it'll be okay. Anything goes wrong, it'll be okay. But we are answering these questions so that you sitting at home doesn't have to grapple with these things. So we have introduced a toolkit, and this is the first year toolkit. And we are going to be putting in some things to equip people who are entering their first year of independence, so that you don't have to struggle like us. And there's nothing that you can say you wish you knew, because we are going to tell you everything. So we're each going to be putting in 3 items, and I will go first. My first item is a cell phone, because this is your life. This is your life. This is your contacts. This is your memories. This is your life. So cell phone, I think, obviously, put it in there. And then protection, pepper spray, because especially girls, pepper spray, no matter what city you're living in, however safe you think you are, you're not safe. So pepper spray, taser, whatever you need, just protect yourself. So I'll be putting that in there. And lastly, I'm going to be putting in a Bible, just to represent being grounded in something, you know, whatever, even if it's not Christianity or God, spiritual, star signs, something. But I think it's so important to believe in some form of higher power, because it just makes life so much easier. Because if you always think that everything's your fault and it's you, and you don't believe that anything is above you, then life is going to be tough. So yeah, those are my 3 things. Oh, up next.
So, okay, let me go into my purse. By the way, you should have a purse, a bag. It's not one
No,
of my
definitely.
items, but definitely a crossbody, a fanny pack, anything. You need to carry your stuff. So sunscreen, very important. I wish I had known that from the beginning. A lot of my items are like healthcare related, but like protect your skin from the sun. It's dangerous. It's bad for you. It's like your skin will age too fast. You'll get cancer. So definitely wear sunscreen every day, in winter even. Then you talked about protection. It's a different
Type
kind
of
of protection,
protection.
yes. So PrEP, which is medication that you take every day, and it stands for prophylaxis, pre-exposure prophylaxis, and it prevents the transmission of HIV. It's not an excuse not to use condoms. Please use condoms. But it's
Why was that targeted to you?
it is additional protection, and it is, you know, fail-safe. It is 95% effective, and it prevents transmission of HIV, which in this country is obviously running rampant. So it is, you know, a great tool to have, and it is free in sexual health clinics
Really?
in South Africa.
That's a great thing to know.
And finally, moisturizing your lips.
Oh,
lip balm,
yeah,
Vaseline,
yep,
essential. You know, you don't want crusty lips.
ever,
Period.
ever. Jack?
Now, I feel like my items are small because I don't have a bag. But my first item would be a watch. It's a watch. This represents time management. The first and most important thing that you actually need to do is manage your time when you are stepping into being independent, because it's just one thing. If you fail managing your time, everything else is going to crumble down. So a watch for time management. Secondly, I have a notepad. So this represents for me writing down your ideas and believing in your ideas that you have. Because at a young age, before you step into being independent, you actually have a lot of ideas that you think about. You have a lot of things that you want to achieve. So it's best and better to write them down before you go anywhere else. Always note down whatever you're thinking in this thing. So here you go. Last and finally are these ones. These are headphones. So these are simply just to put like this. Forget about all the naysayers. Don't listen to them. Block everything else that they think they know about you and just continue walking. So yeah, in the box.
Yeah, no, I think definitely with all these items, I mean, I don't think anyone can complain about wishing that they knew something or not knowing anything. Because, you know, this is what this show is for. And I feel like we don't have enough of these spaces where we get to talk like this, get to talk openly, like PrEP. So many people didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that. So you really just taught me something new. So what's one thing that you guys would say is the most important to consider, like, in going into adulting? It can be advice or like, don't do this, but what's that one thing that if someone has forgotten everything that we've said on this show today, what's one thing they should remember?
I will say seek bad experiences, not dangerous experiences. Don't put yourself in danger, but don't be afraid of embarrassment. You will be embarrassed. The feeling is going to fade. The next day you'll wake up, you'll be okay. It's fine to be embarrassed, as like you'll get so much more out of it. You'll get so much more out of bad experiences, and you'll learn from them. So chase the discomfort.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Jack?
For me, I think it's almost a similar path of things. But for me, I think it is allow yourself to go into dark spaces. Allow yourself to be depressed. Allow yourself to be anxious. Just allow yourself to feel all those things, because they are a communication for your body to say, right now, my thing is kind of, things are not going well, so I have to be anxious. You work under pressure. Be anxious, be depressed, be all of those things. Move on to those steps. Make sure that you are immersing yourself in them. Learn what you need to learn in those things so that you come up top. So that's what I would say.
No, I definitely agree. Last thing for me, I think be brave. Be brave. Even if you're scared, do it. Do it while you're scared. Take that part while you're nervous. Pitch that idea, you know. Do it while you're scared. It will pass. But yes, it's been such an interesting show. Thanks for coming, guys. Jack, I've had such a great time having these conversations with you, and, you know, just like having this safe space to really talk about how we really feel. So that's been so exciting. So please do tune in next week. We will be talking about more exciting stuff. We're probably going to be talking about the first year of internet, being on the internet, and how not to train for all the wrong things. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a lovely night, and we'll see you again next week. I'm been your host, Refiloe Ndaba.